Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful, wet spring morning in George, and I thought, let me talk to you on a follow-up of our previous video that we watched on that whole butterfly, like my transformation story. And I bet some of you, now that you've digested it and heard about it, you think to yourself, well, if she could do it, I'm sure I can. How did she do it? How did she go from step A to step B? Like, that transformation, like what was the problem before, what was the middle, and how did you get to the other side, right? It's kind of human nature for us to be a little bit curious. And half of you wondering, well, what story, like what's going on, like where does this come from? And today I want to tell you that if I look back at my past and I look at my entire life story from beginning to where we are right now, right, there were so many points of pleasure and hope and love and excitement, but heartache, death, soul destroying pain, relationships that have failed, uh, me failing, my mind being in such a bad place that I sometimes thought to myself, you know what? I don't even know if I want to carry on breathing anymore. This is too hard. This is really something I cannot do anymore. Why me? Why is this happening to me? Everybody else seems to have this beautiful life. And why is everything falling apart? Why did my partner have to die? Like, why am I left a single mom with my child? Why did I have to walk all these paths and have two very big failures of relationships after that? Like, what was that about? And why? Like, what is this about? And I know now, looking back, but at the time, I had no clue what was going on in my life, except that it was bad, it was hard, this is not cool and not fun. And let's be honest, if I have to really pour my heart out, if it wasn't for my kids that were waiting for me and being a single mom with them nowhere to go, I most probably would have given up. To be dead honest, I most probably would have given up. So thank goodness, right, that I didn't. And I got through all of that to get to this side, to share my story with you. And me sharing my story with you isn't as much as I'm trying to tell you I did this and I did that and it's boastful. No, none of that. It's trying to say, I hear you. I hear your struggles. I understand your pain. I understand this mess that goes on in our head. I understand that life can be so hard that the next breath seems impossible. I get it. I get that frustration. I get failure. I get sadness. I get I'm not good enough. I get all of that you might somewhere or right now in your life have felt or feeling right now in this moment. And I want to start by saying, you know what? Now looking back, I kind of understand why it happened. And I want you to just grab a cup of tea, pause this, grab a cup of tea, take any distraction that's around you, a phone, a people, whatever, close the door and just listen to this for a few minutes. Because if you do and you allow yourself really to hear the message, to feel into it, there's some part of you that may resonate with us, and there's some part of you that might wake up and go, oh. And I hope that this is what it's going to do for you today. So now, if I look back in my life, I can truly, honestly say that deep within me, in my soul, I was happy and I didn't know why. I was so unhappy that, yes, I had these moments of happiness in between, right? It was like a roller coaster. One moment I'm up, one moment I'm down, then I'm happy, then I'm sad. And this constant like rubbish in my head all the time, this little nagging voice all the time. You're not good enough, you're not special enough, why would somebody like want you, why wouldn't they love you, like I need somebody to look after me. All this previous programming and rubbish and stuff that I put in my head. And what problem was, I started listening to that voice. I started believing that voice. I started feeling into it, and I started living that voice, because I didn't know there was anything else but that voice. But here's the interesting thing. Deep down inside, I kind of knew that this was not right. I had this feeling that there's something better out there. I had this feeling that this person isn't right. I had this deep down feeling that no, this is not the right path for you. I had this feeling about I need more, I want more. But every time I felt that I need more, I want more, I dampened it down. I put it aside and I was like, no, 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 this life is not meant for Claire to be happy or successful or to be joyous or just be free. I just thought it's for other people, it's not for me. I was born into a life of struggle and disappointment. And these are the things that became louder and louder. And it was like a fire blazing within me. It just started destroying everything around me. And here's the thing, every time I chose a partner or I made a choice, I did it from here and not from here. And every time I did it from here, it was to fill a gap, fill a gap of a need, like call it a relationship. I felt somebody giving me validation or comfort or kindness. And I felt like those people were filling the gap until they didn't do it anymore. And then I felt empty and I felt despair and I felt anger. Because how could one moment you be like this and show me all this greatness and the next moment turn into something else and be the exact opposite? I couldn't understand. It was like this washing machine of like bundled up nonsense that was chucked in and spinning around all over. And here's the thing. Remember I said I listened or didn't listen to that voice? I knew deep inside of me, there was a point in me, if I really think back, there was a point of me that somehow said, it's not right. Or if the science came up and said, you notice something, you see something in another person, and it goes against your values, it goes against what you believe in, and it makes you sad or angry or crazy or crying or whatever. When that happens and those signs show up, I dampen down the signs going, but this person is good. This situation is good. I can't do better. This is good enough for me right now. This person loves me. This person is showing me kindness. Yeah, for a minute or two. But the bigger picture, the soul feeling that I had way down was saying, no, this is not right, Claire. This is not where you're supposed to be. But I didn't want to be alone, and I didn't want to because it's so scary, right? It's scary to be alone. It's scary to face the big monsters that you don't know exist. It's scary not knowing where tomorrow or what's coming tomorrow and just facing it all on your own. And here's the thing about this gift, about the lesson that I experienced, and I hope that you're feeling into this too. If I listen to that voice, if I listen to that tiny little voice inside of me saying, oh, oh yes, you should. But what happened when it said I should? I was like, oh no, I'm too scared. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. What do I know about that? There's people that's a lot more experienced than me. There's people that just understand life better than me. There's people that are successful, have the best relationship, have fantastic work, riches pour out of them, and they're living this great life. It's not for me. So no, and then what I did was when the voice came up and said, go for it, I said, no, because I don't believe in myself that I can do it. I don't believe that I actually can and really feel out of my skin that, hey, there's potential. Actually, that I can do something. So here's the thing. Now, what I do is I started listening. I started listening. Now, yes, interesting thing about this is your feelings inside of you is a direct message from your soul. Did you know that? A direct message from your soul. What do you do every time you have a feeling? Good, bad, sad, happy? What do we do? Most of us, if it's not nice, we put it aside. We push it away. We don't want to be with it. We say, whoa, I can't handle this. This is too bad. I can't do it anymore, right? And we go and watch a Netflix movie to jump out of our head. Or we go and have a big gossip about somebody else, whatever it is that you're doing. So here's the thing that I want to tell you today. You need to stop that right now. You need to stop listening to the world out there. You need to stop listening to what people are telling you to do. You need to stop listening to social media. You need to stop listening and become a sheep. Don't do the sheep thing. Everybody does this sheep. This person does something, we all follow that person. This person, oh, they got success, we follow that person. But your journey is different to that person. Not one of us in this world have the same journey. We can listen to the message and take that message and bring it into our lives, but we cannot follow that journey because it will fail. It's not your soul path. And as long as it's not your soul path, like me, you are going to fail. And you know what? I'm happy for my failures now. You're going to say, what? Yeah, I'm happy because those failures brought me to this point. I learned something in each part of my journey. Every step I took, I learned something. And it's a cumulative of now. And I'll be doing that for the rest of my life. But every step now, since I started listening, became better, started becoming easier. Was it difficult? Ooh, man, you have no idea how difficult this was. Imagine the middle of the night, realizing this is the end, picking up all your stuff, the next morning being in your car, driving 12 hours to a new little city. Well, not new, it's our old home city, but driving there with 2 kids, 2 dogs, and just drive. You don't know where you're sleeping that night. You don't know where you're going to go. You're renting a house that you've never seen before. You are beside yourself with worry. You feel alone. You feel like life's given up on you. You don't want to share that pain with somebody else. And yes, people are there for you, but you don't truly want to speak your truth. Why? Because we take all of that and we shove it down. We take everything that we don't like and we push it away. But here's the thing. If I listen, when things were tough, going, what is this about? And saying, hold on, my soul is saying something to me. What is it trying to tell me? You are feeling sad. This that's happening right now is sad. This is regret for not listening. This is fear, right? And fear is just something that we are taking our soul's voice and we're pushing it aside. We're saying, no. Next time you're scared, the next time you're fearful, I want you to really ask yourself, am I scared because I'm not listening to my soul? Because your soul is not wrong, ever, 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 ever wrong. If you had to listen to it and hear into it and feel into it, it feels good, expansive, right. And yes, there might be fear, but fear is the thing. And if you can push through it and you can start listening, fear is the thing that's going to push you to the other side. Fear is going to be the thing that's going to give you, once you push through the other side, give you so much confidence that you start building and building and building, and you become better and better and better. And yes, they're baby steps, but every step is better. And this is a message I want to give you today. I want to say to you, start listening. Start listening to that voice. Start listening to your feelings. Stop it. Don't go and watch a Netflix movie every time you're upset. Take a piece of paper and write down, I feel angry, right? Why am I feeling angry? I feel angry because this and this and this happened. What is my soul trying to tell me? My soul's trying to tell me that that path isn't correct for me. I need to shift focus to another path. If you were happy, you would not have that feeling. Your soul is your guiding force, your North Star. It's telling you where to go. If something feels bad, trust me, it is against with what your soul is going. If you are saying to yourself, I feel awful, I feel fat, I feel unhappy, it is against where your soul is going. Stop listening to that voice. Stop hearing it. Stop pulling it into your life. Stop being a sheep. Stop following it because it is not your truth. If you were quiet and you really just sat and got out of your head, and you're saying, how do you get out of your head? Well, just let it go. Just let it go and say, I'm releasing what's in my head, and breathe. Just focus on your breath and be quiet, very quiet, and sit in nature Or just, if you can't be in nature, close your eyes and just imagine you're in nature, right? And you just let your thoughts come to you. And you sift through it and you journal on it and you talk about it to yourself. It doesn't have to be to somebody else, right? You just start working step by step on it. That is how you get to know your soul, what your soul is pointing you to. Once you follow that direction, everything starts opening up. It becomes easier. It becomes better. Things and situations and people start coming towards you where it should. You start making new friends. You start a new life. You realize that I didn't need security. I was it all along. We are searching in other people what is lacking in us instead of searching inward into our soul to fulfill that before we find other people, before we find the next relationship, before we go and find a needy soul somewhere else, perhaps in a drink or perhaps in a sitting and playing games 110 times a day, or the next pill you're going to take, or the next antidepressant you're going to take, whatever it is. Before you do that, ask yourself, is this in alignment with me, my soul? Start getting to know yourself. Start asking questions while you're journaling. And this is what opens up the path. And start following that voice, that deep down voice, because this is going to be the thing that's going to start moving you in your direction. You won't need people anymore. You won't need influencers anymore. You won't need all of that. You just got to align yourself with people who are on the same journey with you. Once you align yourself with people on the same journey and they're upping, you'll be upping, and they upping and you'll be upping. And it becomes this big expansive thing, and your soul goes, yes, yes, this is what I have been waiting for. So for me, it meant opening up to you, telling you exactly what's going on inside you. The good, the bad, the ugly, the happy, the sad, the everything else. So if I don't want to show up, I am now saying, yes, I'm going to show up, because that is what my soul is saying. Start speaking your truth. Start talking inwards. Stop playing small. Stop listening to this voice. If you're scared about talking about me to you, push through that, because that is what your soul is saying. Get it out. Speak it. Help somebody else. Grab them by the hand. Pull them up, show them the little steps that you took, and perhaps that message is for that person too. Now, my question is, what is this message for you? What does this mean to you? Take a moment and just ask yourself, what does this mean to you? What area in my life, or all 8 areas, do I need to listen to my soul on? So, just take a deep breath. And another. And ask yourself, what does my soul need right now? And with that, I'm going to say goodbye. And I want you to comment and say, what does my soul need right now? Comment that in there. Just say, it needs rest. It needs me to listen. It needs me to perhaps think about my feelings. It needs me to express myself, maybe for the first time. Whatever that is, I want you to write that thing down, and I want you to follow up with that one thing. Past that fear, whatever's going on in here, and I want you to actually go and write it. Put it down here, or say it to a friend, preferably in a group now of like-minded people, right? And you're going to see, baby step by baby step, your life is going to change. So on that note, have a fantastic day and keep listening to your soul.